That was probably why some people were talking. Yeah. I call the Maplewood City Council meeting to order on March 12th, 2024. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the Kickapoo, Osage, Miami, Iroquois, and Great Sioux Nation people. Please rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Traxler, roll call, please.
Councilmember Farrell,
Here.
Councilmember Buckingham,
Here.
Councilmember Garcia,
Here.
Councilmember Homa,
Here.
Mayor Knapper,
Here.
Councilmember Maddox, Councilmember Page.
Here.
Madam Mayor, a quorum is present.
Mr. Traxler, would you please call Councilmember Correll's name again?
Councilmember Correll.
Here.
I heard it.
All right, thank you.
Kind of quiet. It's only on this speaker. I don't know. Can you hear that?
Yes,
Okay.
okay. May I have a motion to excuse Councilmember Maddox?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Mr. Traxler, item number 6.
Approval of the council agenda.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries. Mr. Traxler, item number 7.
Public forum to hear citizen comments regarding a proposed resolution in support of affordable housing in the city of Maplewood, Missouri.
At this time, the public is invited to provide comment regarding the resolution in support of the affordable housing in Maplewood. If you would, please go ahead and step to the podium. And you may need to press the button the entire time. Did you? You can, yeah,
Mayor Knapper, council.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's great. So now you don't have to do any work. That's great. Okay, so first I ask that you please state your name
Sure.
and then let us know your address. And then
I'm-
you have 3 minutes.
I'm Doug Hauser and I live at 3220 Big Bend. I'm here to apologize for information I put out in my last blog post. I put out information that turned out, I found out later, wasn't accurate. My formerly reliable secondhand sources told me that all the church buildings were, going to be under the gun. And I've since found out that this is the only one we're talking about. Is that right with the new development?
Potentially, yes, sir.
So at any rate, that's mainly why I'm here, to apologize for that. And I just wanted, this will go to the Historic Preservation Commission next, won't it? If they make, application to demolish this building. Well,
I mean, yes.
yeah. Oh, at any rate, it's a first-rate historic building. And many of the historic districts would love to have this building. I can tell you that much. It's in great shape. None of those buildings are dilapidated. The archdiocese kept them in very good condition. I know we're not Soulard, but if we were Soulard, they have such a tight historic district that I don't think this would be negotiable. They'd just say you're gonna restore it. At any rate, I know the ultimate decision will rest with you all. And it's a beautiful building. A lot of our members of our community went to school here. And so at any rate, I for one will be sorry to see it go. Thank you.
I'm sorry, do I need to hold this down? Okay, good. Good evening, council and mayor. I printed out something because I know we'll run out of time, but due to all the passions running deep right now,
Forgive me, sir. Would you please state your name?
Sorry.
You're fine.
I'm sorry, Ray Crater, it's 7114 High Street. Maplewood. Due to all the passions running deep right now, I'm going to start by saying nothing I say is intended to show support or criticism for any mayor candidate. That's not why I'm here. I'm here as an architect. I have a 30+ year career as an architect, and it's my passion. And I just want to share my thoughts and hopefully make this project a better project in the end. I want to thank you, Mayor, for what you've done to promote senior and affordable housing in Maplewood. I really mean that. I have personally experienced through my mother-in-law the great need here in Maplewood for this. And I want to thank Mr. Hartle of RCH Development. I know they've already invested a lot of time and a lot of resources in this project. However, there's always a however. I do have a few concerns about the project that I wanted to share. Again, hopefully to make it a better project. You have the opportunity with this project to steer in a direction that creates a village within our community that adds benefit to the neighborhood beyond the property lines. It doesn't seem, this particular plan doesn't seem to respect or interact with the other buildings on site. This is a very typical developer-led plan that meets their formula. But it's more appropriate in a suburban or a semi-urban environment. The appearance of it simply doesn't draw any inspiration or anything from this wonderful community. We're a very dense urban environment that calls for a different kind of solution than what was presented, a more intentional community. By providing a variety of living units, perhaps even using the other existing buildings, you can provide an environment where multiple generations can live near each other and benefit from that social interaction. And there are many, many examples of intentional communities that you can draw from. And I'd be happy to share more background, but I want to move on. My other concern is historic preservation. We do have a historic preservation committee, and this should be their mission, is to protect our historic buildings. There are major examples here in Maplewood where these principles haven't been followed in the past. And the character of our downtown in particular has been forever changed. This proposal will demolish the building commonly referred to as the education building or school. This is actually the oldest building on that site. It was built in 1905 as the original school and the original church. And as Doug Hauser had pointed out in his article, the beauty of that original building, which it's subjective, whether you find that beautiful or not, but the original beauty of that building is there, and it's hard to see now due to the alterations over the years. But that beauty can be restored through this project. It's still a good functioning building, fully rented from what I understand. And finally, there are also environmental impacts of building demolition. And Maplewood has prided itself on being a leader of environmental stewardship. This plan really doesn't address that. It's simply tear it down and put it in a landfill. So I urge you, council, to consider other options besides tearing down this building. I do want to see this site developed for senior housing. I think it's greatly needed, but I think a better solution is available. I have some other points, but I know I'm out of time. So I hope you will consider the other things I've written. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Patty Newry and my address is 7250 Sarah. I pray that you, the council, will today delay your vote on line item 15, which is a resolution. As a member of the IC Artists Coalition, I urge the city council to reconsider their decision regarding the former Immaculate Conception School building. The lack of public outreach and input opportunities on this matter is concerning. demolishing this historic building, beloved by the community since Doug Hauser said 1905. I said the very early 1900s. And today I saw that Maplewood was incorporated as a city in 1908. So this was here even before the city. That wasn't in my notes. It would not only be divisive, but it would disregard the vibrant local artist community that fully utilizes its space right now. And it would take away a space which is currently used for numerous community events. I don't think you've checked them out. Maybe you have, but I don't think so. For example, many schools use that for their trivia nights around the area. There's group basketball for the disadvantaged who can't afford to pay more than like $20 for the whole evening. And they have that, it's hard for them to scrape that up. And there are people there who are helping them get that together for the kids to play over there. And there are many other low-cost rental events going on over there continuously. So I implore the council to delay the vote today regarding item number 15 on today's agenda in order to, one, give the council time to receive and review community input through a well-published or publicized public hearing. That seems reasonable, as suggested in the last council meeting by Krista Garcia. And number two, allow further discussion with the diocese and the archdiocese, who I think, I'm not positive, I think they were not informed as to what the Catholic Charities and you had together been doing. I think they were out of the loop, and they're going to be not happy. I'm close to them because I am an artist in that building. I talked directly with the Monsignor. I've spoken with the person who maintains the building and has built it up into what it is today. And number three, I think you need to explore alternative solutions for your low-income housing plan that honors the historic building and the history, that supports the existing creative endeavors occurring there, and that praises the current various ongoing outreach. And thank you for listening. I think I left my stuff.
Do we have anybody raising their hand on Zoom that we need to mix in? Okay, thanks.
Is this working? Oh, good. I don't have to touch it. I'm Mary Killian, 3159 Cherry. I am a senior. I've worked with the mayor on the senior task force and the senior resource fair. I'm also an artist, though they don't have room for me there, and I'd love to be. But I'd like you to look at and think about an alternative location. I would like senior housing, affordable senior housing, because I am a senior and I've worked with seniors who would need it. But I'd also like to see to keep the building because there's so much we can do with it. We can use it as a resource center for our whole community, at least even the cafeteria part. I know that she mentioned all that's going on, but you spoke about having a daycare, a need for those here who have children for meetings like this, and you have no one to watch them. We could use a daycare person, but we could also do student interns who could work there or do their social, the work that they have, community service hours that they have to do. We could have a spot where seniors could meet. We want to draw seniors who become so just closed up in their own homes and get them out to meet other seniors like they do in Richmond Heights. We could give them a spot where they could come together for resources to find out, where we can get help with this, where we can help with that. We could move the food pantry that I volunteer for that is now in the basement of the church into a warm and comfortable place for those who come for the food. They stand outside in the cold as we do who are helping them. We could move that to the cafeteria or to the gymnasium. We could keep this a beautiful, wonderful resource for our whole city and all the people who live here and help their needs. They could bring us ideas. It's just a different alternative. And I know there are other sites that we could move or put senior affordable housing. Also, one thing I would hope that somehow we find a way to maybe legislate or hope that affordable senior housing doesn't turn out like those, housing that and I don't know how to describe it, the housing on Anna and the housing in those apartments that are on Yale, where it's become broken down and falling apart, and people who I deal with in working with them in the food pantry, when I speak to them, they're afraid to come and talk about what's going on, but they're living in conditions that are deplorable. And I don't want anything to turn into that for seniors. I don't know if you can legislate for that or you can control it somehow. I just worry that it'll continue and over time. And that hurts my heart. Thank you.
Hello, council. My name is Justin Lorenz. I'm a resident of Maplewood, and I work for the nonprofit organization L'Arche St. Louis. And we own a home where people live together, both with and without intellectual disabilities. At the corner of Anna Avenue and Marshall Avenue, it's a property that was formerly owned by the church, but is now owned by L'Arche. And so we just recently became aware of the plan for this development. And it was very concerning to see that the planned building was actually partially on property that our organization owns. And not that we don't support affordable housing or putting something there, but it was very concerning that we weren't notified that there was this plan that actually is on our property. So clearly things, property lines weren't looked up. There wasn't much planning. And so it's just concerning that the council is voting to approve on something like this and not that exact plan, but without, getting in touch with us and who knows what other properties. So just wanted to bring that to your attention and to say, clearly me and others are concerned of just having a voice at the table, being able to negotiate what would go there, if anything. So we would ask for due diligence on that and to include us and, the community in your plans. And we'd be very concerned about the entrance and how parking would work. So thank you for considering that. And generally really, really glad that we're looking at ways to be inclusive and helpful for people that aren't as of great means. So thank you.
Anyone on Zoom?
I do not see any Zoom.
All right, thank you. Mr. Traxler, item number 8.
Approval of the February 27, 2024 City Council meeting minutes.
May I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Mr. Traxler, item number 9.
Announcements.
Roller Boogie, Friday, 6 to 10 p.m. Sorry, I'll be at a fish fry, so I forgot.
No, fish fry. Okay, I get it. All right. Mr. Traxler, item number 10.
Public forum.
At this time, the public is invited to provide comment. Excuse me, if you're joining us in the chambers, you can step up to the podium. And if you are joining us online, please raise your hand and Ms. Withacom will call upon you. All right.
Hi, my name is Beth Newman, 7401 Gaola Place. I love Maplewood. I think everyone in this room would agree. I'm raising my children here. I'm building a life here with my partner and my children. I'm part of a community here. This is my home. I want to talk very briefly about something that I believe is harming our beloved community. Misinformation. Misinformation that has run rampant. Much of it surrounding the upcoming mayoral race and the actions of Mayor Knapper and the Maplewood City Council. When we as a community, don't have factual information, I believe it harms all of us. I urge my fellow Maplewoodians to fight back against the misinformation that has enveloped our community. How do we do that? Talking, but not just to anyone. Talking to the actual people who we elected and who are representing us. They are your neighbors. Talk to them. Talk to them. Get your information from the people who are doing the things you like or don't like. Show up to a council meeting. Ask a question during public comment. Usually the mayor and council can't respond, but they will most certainly hear you. Isn't that what we all want? Just to be heard? Email the mayor or your council person. Call the mayor or your council person. Arrange a meeting in person at a time that's convenient for you. Visit with the mayor or the council at the many community engagement events happening in people's homes or at the Maplewood Library. There are lots of ways to get factual information. Will it be exactly what you want to hear? Perhaps, perhaps not, and that's okay. But it will be an accurate depiction of what's actually happening. And no, it won't be information that the mayor and the council are not legally allowed to disclose. Word to the wise, that does not mean anything nefarious is happening. It just means that it's not something the mayor or council is allowed to disclose to you. Do you want to know that information? Run for office, get elected. I would advise doing the actual work to actually get your name on the ballot, though. Or you can file a FOIA request. That's your right, and I fully support that effort. But when the information you get back doesn't match your narrative, it still doesn't mean the mayor or the council are hiding anything. Other ways to battle the misinformation that I believe is harming our community. Be careful about getting your information from news articles that are editorial pieces. Yes, by all means, read them. Support your local newspaper, but be aware that you're reading someone's opinion. Be mindful about getting your news from comments on Facebook. Be mindful about who is making statements based on facts and who is making accusations with no proof. Not sure who or what to believe? I get it. Again, talk to your neighbors who you elected. In closing, I really do love this town. I love our community, all of it, all of you, even those of you who didn't like my comments and I heard you, that's okay. That's okay. We can disagree. I'm really glad that we're all in this together. Let's make it the best place we can. Let's talk to one another.
I'm Karen Wood, 2833 Laclede Station Road. Good evening. Tonight marks the second consecutive council meeting that the second public forum has been removed from the agenda. While we appreciate that Mayor Knapper and some council members are taking time out of their busy weekend schedules to be available for discussions at local coffee shops, there are several reasons that really doesn't take the place of a public forum as part of the official city council meeting. Questions and answers that surface at these informal events are likely ones that many other residents have. And those informal coffee shop conversations, they don't include the perspective of the entire council, as that would constitute a quorum and be subject to the rules of public meetings. So it also gives a greater access to the entire community to be able to hear these live or on the recorded session that is made available after the council meetings. The second forum was something that the city council added under the leadership of Barry Greenberg. Council members Schmidt, Cordini, and Phillips attended a Richmond Heights Town Hall council meeting and noted that they offered one. To paraphrase a recent online comment from Jenny Schmidt, procedure doesn't allow for council to engage directly with the community members. We thought that this was a way to try and have somewhat of a conversation about an issue. If a question was brought up during the first forum, we could discuss it during the meeting, and then the community members could respond to what was discussed during the second forum. We felt it led to increased transparency and ability for community input. We encourage you to take these back into meeting agendas in the future for the good of your constituents. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anne Louise Schmidt, 7403 Lohmeyer Avenue. The zoning ordinance that's going to be presented this evening speaks to the community that I want to belong to. For those listening, tell your friends and neighbors that zoning ordinances can directly affect our taxes. Essentially, the ordinance will stop home builders from building huge houses. They will be required to get a 300-foot radius average home size, and they can only dig 10% bigger than that. This will ensure that homes can stay uniform in size and will keep us from having like a $700,000 home next to an 800 square foot home that is affordable, which we see going up around Maplewood already. Right now, once they tear down a small home, we lose that small affordable home forever. When a house sells for $700,000, it also causes all of our home values to increase, and our real estate taxes will then go up. Having an ordinance around this will stop that. So thank you, council, and thank you, Planning and Zoning Board, and thank you, Mayor Knapper, for doing this.
Hi, y'all. I'm Brad Jackson, 2625 Hope Avenue. I'm, as some people before me did, I'm also here to address misinformation around this mayoral race. Pardon for coming in hot. We were at a 6-year-old all-school choir concert right before here, so glad I made it in time for the commentary. But I wanted to say that in the 10 years that I've lived in Maplewood, I've honestly never seen our neighborhood or our town be so willfully obtuse. That might not be the nicest thing to say, but our community is tight, it's progressive, and it's usually a lot smarter than this. So this is very alarming. Just in the past 2 days alone, here's a short list of things that I've seen in social media groups or on local news websites. The people in our community truly believe that our mayor personally, all by herself, has done. She's apparently raised the prices of goods and commercial real estate with the sole intention of pushing business out of downtown and keeping it so that people don't come and shop here. She has made a deal with her developer friends to demolish Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, which is both sinful, and of course she's doing it because she's not Maplewood. Obviously not the case. On top of all of this, she's apparently secretly friends with all of the developers who seek to do any kind of projects in Maplewood. In their interpretation of the recent Sunshine Law request, she has actually gone as far as to physically assault city employees, which is, you know, pretty stark. And they even say that they amended the agenda of this very meeting just beforehand in order to disenfranchise citizens. So every day, at every moment, it's a new thing, and it's absolutely an organized smear campaign. They want you to believe it without questioning it. Just a few years ago, the exact same thing happened in Stockton, California, in a case almost identical in all of the pieces and moving parts. And in that case, they were able to remove the mayor from office. But with all of the lies told, it's absolutely impossible that the city is going to recover from the eroded trust within the next decade. In contrast, here in Maplewood, almost everybody that I know who understands how city government is supposed to function is very supportive of the mayor and city council. The work that they're doing is fantastic. The list of accomplishments of everything that they've gotten done already crushed out of the last 3 mayors, one of which fully endorses our mayor. Every member of city council endorses her, even the ones that have signs for Barry Greenberg in their yard. So I'll be the one to say it. The most vitriolic voices in our community are speaking the loudest, and they've got their buddies in the Post-Dispatch and 40 South News helping them do it. One of the people pushing that agenda was arrested and was literally in court in this very room last night for harassing our community members, but that's the person that's gonna tell you that our mayor is a bad person. But this, y'all, is how racism works. This is how they tear down Black leaders, especially female Black leaders. This isn't new, but this is Maplewood, and we're supposed to be different. And I, for one, I can't wait to re-elect Nikylin Knapper back into office for another term. And I have a beautiful coalition of very intelligent and emotionally stable people alongside of me trying to do it. Thank you for your time. Re-elect Knapper.
Tanya Oliphant, 7406 Maple Avenue, and I have lived in Maplewood since 2001. Love it here. I've never been to a city council meeting. I just wanted to come today to list some of the work that Mayor Knapper, the boards and commissions have accomplished since she became mayor. The Parks and Recreation completed their work on the master plan for city parks, informed Mayor Knapper that they needed at least $10 million to begin work on implementing the plan. So she found Grant Match, which is a company that writes and submits grants on behalf of government entities. They get paid from a successful grant application. And this commission also hosted a special event for children at City Hall in December of 2023. The Planning and Zoning established the Affordable Housing Set-Aside Ordinance and Permit Ordinance, established the Tenant Bill of Rights, established the Sustainability Commission received rewards and is currently working on the creation of a sustainability consortium and a sustainability plan for the city, reestablished a partnership with the MRH School District, is working, as we have discussed, on creating affordable housing for elders and workforce housing, and have consistently met with multiple developers over the past 3 years to discuss such a development. As far as city functions, discussing a possible partnership with neighboring municipalities to see what city functions and costs we can share that would positively affect the city budget. Created internships for MRH high school students and local college students. Mayor Knapper became a member of Local Progress, Mayor's Innovation Project, and was a speaker at the American Democracy Summit in 2023. Has represented Maplewood on a number of panels regarding progressive communities and women leading. Consistently engages in efforts to help seniors and help low-income residents, including assistance in appealing property tax. It's been the most active council in decades, with 27 pieces of legislation passed versus only 8 under the previous mayor. Established the Welcome Maplewood team with a 5-year strategic plan, with one of the goals that really stood out and spoke to me, to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to share in the success of Maplewood. And some of this group's accomplishments include passing Resolution R25, which is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Maplewood to declare our commitment to systemically and deliberately address racial inequities in the city. Passed an ordinance that creates harsher penalties for hate crimes. Passed the Crown Act resolution, which prohibits discrimination against applicants and employees of the city based on an individual's hairstyle. Passed a resolution that acknowledges the second Monday of each October as Indigenous Peoples' Day. I could go on and on. I have more pages than I have time. I'll leave the list with you. You don't have to look very far. I would agree. Please re-elect Mayor Knapper.
Hello, everyone. My name is Heidi Schoen, Schoen. I am on the Sustainability Commission, and I didn't plan on coming here with any organized, and I will be brief. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the work that you put into making our city a great place to be. I've been here so long, I can't even remember. Seriously, in the early 90s, and things have changed. And I know it's hard what you do. I worked in HR. Some of this stuff I hear, it reminds me of HR because you can't say anything when you work in HR, and there's just a lot of stuff that happens. So I just want to say thank you again, and I look forward to your second term. Yeah.
Hi. Oh. Okay. That's what I thought. I'm going to take my mask off. Hi, everybody. I just came to say they don't pay you enough to sit on a dais. Oh, I have a name. My name is Gina LaRose, and I live at 7390 Flora.
record. Okay. So yes, I came to express my gratitude, much like the last speaker. I know that you guys are basically volunteers and you take time away from your families, from your jobs that pay you. And sometimes that means you're also taking some heat from the community. And that's too bad because I don't think that that's really representative of the Maplewood that I know and that I love. And so that's really all I have to say to you all. But because there's so many people here, I'm going to turn my attention to the people in the gallery here. Can you still hear me? Okay, cool.
I can, yeah, I can, I could tell.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say about my community that I love. Thank you, Sean, for correcting my addressing. So I'm gonna ask my neighbors while I face you to please think about turning down the temperature a little bit of the rhetoric that we're seeing, especially in online spaces. I feel like I'm cutting out. There's a lot of big feelings, and I think it's because it comes from a place of mostly of wanting this community to do a good job.
Look at us.
I will look at you.
All right.
Sorry. Okay. And I think that that's great. And I'm glad to see that there's a lot of people here. But I think that it's when we have big feelings and we feel angry and upset, sometimes, at least according to my therapist, the thing you should do is you should sit with those feelings for just a minute and examine them and allow yourself to feel them and then decide where are they coming from. And what exactly is making us feel this way? So if you can just try to get to the root, I think that's important. And that goes for elected officials too. I don't see that behavior from you, but you might have it in your homes. And I think I've decided that a lot of what we're seeing right now has to do with who we trust, where we place our trust. And I would say that there are people here who are placing a lot of trust in local journalism, and in particular, Joe Harmon and the opinions that he's telling their city. And I think that they're trusting that he's coming from a place of good faith and that he wants what's best for our community and that there's no ulterior motives or wanting to have some sensational journalism and clickbait. That's what we're trusting. And there are other people here who trust our elected officials, who are our neighbors. You all, we've had conversations with you. We know who you are. We see you at Scouts or at pickup or down the street walking. And we feel like we understand, that's apparently Christy, Councilman Garcia. And I think that some of us feel like we understand you and we understand your motives and we trust that there's nothing nefarious happening behind closed doors. And I feel that way. I feel like I trust you because I've taken the time to talk to you and to know who you are. And I'm wondering, why do some of my neighbors feel this way? I think that if you see a picture of Joe Harmon, he looks like a guy we should trust. He looks like a guy that most of us grew up seeing in charge of things. He looks like all of our presidents for the most part. And then our mayor doesn't look like that. She looks different. And that, I think, there's a piece of that here. I really truly think that. And I know that most of us in the gallery here are white. I'm a white person. And I particularly, and I think a lot of us were raised to be colorblind and to believe that it doesn't matter. That's what I was taught. And because of that, I am working at, not yet still comfortable or practiced at examining my own biases, the things that I've learned along the way in my 42 years. So I'm just asking everyone to take a beat, to take a breath, to recognize that the people on your screen, when you're on social media, those little avatars, those are people, those are our neighbors. And I think that we need to maybe just sit with our feelings a little bit, take a breath before we post something that might be harmful. I just think I'd like to see the temperature turn down a little bit. And that's all I have to say.
And thank you again. Hello all, good evening. My name is Jean Jones. I live at 7451 Elm Avenue. I've known some of you for longer than others, so I've lived in Maplewood for about the past decade. It'll be 10 years this summer. And, you know, initially we moved here. My family and I moved here for the school district. We sort of fell in love with the ECC, as I think many young families do. And then got kind of swooped in by the community. And I have to say, though, it took a bit to convince my husband to move here. My husband is a Black man, and historically, he recalls how people of color were treated in Maplewood, and that as a Black man, you knew you were going to get pulled over driving through the city, and would do everything possible. Excuse me. Mine. And he was doing you would do everything possible to avoid the area. And so I just want to take a moment and recognize the great work that you all have been doing, and how meaningful that work is to my family in particular. And I know other residents of the community where, you know, like my kids can look at their mayor, they can look at their council, and they know that they are top of mind and they are cared for, and that you see them, and that you see my husband, and you see everyone in this community, and you respect them. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you bringing Maplewood forward into the future, a future that is equitable and accessible, and that is a place where everyone is welcome. So thank you.
Ms. Whitcomb, is there anyone online? Okay, all right, thank you.
Hello, my name is Leslie Coyce. I'm at 7430 Gala Place. And tonight I'm going to speak to the truth about what's going on in Maplewood surrounding the mayoral campaign. I think we can all agree that we want to live in a community where we can trust and count on our neighbors to be kind, respectful, and live with integrity. Unfortunately, some community members who are supporters for the opposition to Mayor Knapper's reelection are not being good neighbors. I have witnessed a vicious smear campaign full of lies and dangerous attempts to actively harm the city and Mayor Knapper. I'm questioning the motivation and morale that is driving these people. Why are Chamber of Commerce members repeatedly sunshining our city, trying to get information to undermine Mayor Knapper and her election? This is harassment. These same entitled chamber members, along with many community members through Facebook comments and damaging posts, continue to ask council and Mayor Knapper to give more details about a recent separation agreement, which they are legally prohibited from speaking about. This puts our city in legal peril. If anyone on council says anything regarding the separation agreement, this puts our city at risk of being sued for a lot more money than the city has already spent. This is actively seeking to harm the city of Maplewood. These are all tactics designed to discredit, disqualify, and dehumanize Mayor Knapper. This is not about politics. This is not about the work of the council. This is about vengeance and calculated efforts to perpetuate a narrative that is not true. This is about removing Mayor Knapper. What is the Chamber of Commerce really upset about? Food trucks? I doubt it. White supremacy runs deep within the special business district and Chamber of Commerce. When a Black, strong female leader did not conform to their status quo, they resisted using nasty, volatile, evil-intentioned tactics. The impact of your actions always outweighs your intentions. And that is not who we are as a community. And I don't want that to prevail. Do better, neighbors. Stop obstructing progress because it makes you uncomfortable. So I'm curious, how much do we as a city pay the chamber annually for marketing? I'm all about supporting local businesses. I myself am a business owner. But we don't have to make a payment to the chamber to support Maplewood businesses. When members of an organization are putting us at legal peril, I believe we should stop payments to that organization whose members are hell-bent on attacking this city. Mayor Knapper, council members, thank you. While we may not be able to control the aspects of this campaign, you can prioritize the preservation of your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. Please do that for yourselves. And also have faith that there are more Maplewood residents who wish to check their white entitlement and make progress with you than there are who wish to take us backwards. Thank you.
Hello, Marie. Can you please state your name and your address? We will let you into
Yep.
Zoom.
Hi, my name is Marie Long. I'm at 7781 Alicia Court. I love that we're having this conversation and there's so many people who are speaking about the things that are happening in our community. I'm sure some of them are upset with me and feel that I am part of the problem. However, I saw a very disheartening post from a member of our community who is actually on some of the boards, and I just hopped on, so I may have missed something. He may have been there, but the comparison of the people who are speaking against our current mayor and the thoughts that we have that we do not feel that Mayor Knapper should be reelected. I understand you guys disagree. We disagree. But for him to post specifically, the dumbest few voices in our community are speaking the loudest. There are a handful of intelligent people allied with these idiots, strange bedfellows. And to sit there and talk about the community and all of this discussion about how we should love our neighbors and kumbaya, but there were others who liked it, including Mayor Knapper. And I would just like to ask why, if we're talking about being a community and loving one another and not being racist, how is it okay for one community member who has been accused of sexual misconduct and who has called one of our people, our city council persons, out for unethical behavior, which she was found not guilty? When do we stop listening to him? I'm sorry, I just don't understand how it's okay for the mayor to appropriately like or love a comment. I'm sorry I wasn't part of this special page that's for Maplewood elite. And many of our members who are being discouraged now are actually blocked from that page before even being on it by certain members. I just don't understand how we can claim that there's all this hate coming from people who are not agreeing with Miss Napper, Mayor Napper, because it's coming from color and hate. I'm sorry, I disagree with what's happening and what has been happening. Not everything, not all of it, but there is a lot that I disagree with. And if you feel that I'm attacking you or that I am being racially motivated or I'm a white supremacist, like Mayor Napper says, come talk to me. I'll sit down with coffee for you. I am a person who has lived in this community more than most of you. I've been here since the 90s. I graduated from high school in Maplewood. I moved back here. My kids are going to school here. My kids have never been in trouble for harassing children. I've never been in trouble for harassing people. But when you discuss me and you call me a white supremacist and I'm racist because of the way I feel about something that's happening, I'm sorry. And for you to automatically throw that in my face as a reason, I'm sorry. You're grabbing for straws. I just hope that at the end of the day, no matter what happens at the end of the election, that we as a community can grow either way, whether it's with Mayor Napper or if it's with Mr. Greenberg, because at the end of the day, we're still all going to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Long. I just want to let you know it's a hard K. It's Knapper. Okay.
My name is Sam Knapper, also a hard K. I live at 7310 Marietta Avenue, Maplewood resident, former spouse of the mayor. I had never seen the separation agreement until it was published on 40 South. And there is one part of it that really grabbed my attention and really concerned me, and that was the non-disclosure agreement. That it applied to the mayor, every council member, but every executive employee as well. It's where like the chief of police can't even talk about things or discuss things, or any executive leader from the city. I also remembered the last meeting I attended that there was an ordinance passed allowing you guys to directly speak with employees. And I believe another citizen asked directly about that ordinance that night. The reason that this is coming up is because over the summer, the mayor received text messages, wherein two of them, where she was called the N-word by a community member here. She also received a lot of other ones threatening her, FUB, words like this from a community member. She told me about this so I could safeguard our kids because she had been threatened. So I could keep them safe and be aware of what was going on. I also found out she wasn't able to report this to the police or pursue this hate crime because the former city manager, Michael Reese, told her that she can't talk to the employees per his interpretation of the charter. So looking at this non-disclosure agreement now, I have questions that I know you can't answer, but like, was this hate crime ever prosecuted? Did it ever get reported? Were any charges ever done? Was a community member, I mean, she's our mayor, but she's also a community member. She's deserving of the protection of the law. Did that occur? The second issue that I have with this, and a lot of terms are being thrown around tonight, the disparaging comments on the mayor's character and professionalism, where she's being called unethical, incompetent, that she's coercing people. These are personal and professional attacks way outside the purview of her public service. And Barry Greenberg, I do have an issue with your campaign. I don't know you personally. This is directed at how you campaign.
Sir, you have to direct your comments to us.
Okay, so in the last campaign, the issue was there was a blatant lie about a quid pro quo for a firefighter union endorsement. A blatant lie that was published on a publication here. Now this settlement agreement has been put on a re-election website, and it's using to fabricate more lies that we're concerned about tearing the community apart. It is starting there. People are reading into this separation agreement, and they are putting every negative connotation possible attached to the mayor. There's another party to this. The former city manager, Michael Reese, that no one has ever discussed. Was he incompetent? What was his character like? What was his actions and his professionalism before this occurred? And it's never come up once. So when people are saying that it's racially motivated, there's implicit racial bias that when there's a white man who is one party, who no one ever even questions his character or his actions or his professionalism, and there's a black woman who's the other, and we're going down the rabbit hole over here, yes, it's fair to say there's implicit racial bias. We're not grasping at straws when we're making those connections. So I would encourage people in the community, especially people who are the loudest, and when I say the loudest, most prominent, to stand up and say, there is nothing in this separation agreement that indicates our mayor has done anything unethical, anything illegal. There's nothing there. There's also nothing there that indicates that the former city manager has. We don't know. He could waive the NDA if he wants to, and then we could all get the answers that I think a lot of us want. But no one ever brings that up. Because it's a lot easier to just trash someone's character instead of doing the work. It's not right. So going forward, I recommend keep it to what we know. We don't know what the motivation and what happened in this separation agreement until that NDA is waived. We do have a record of service. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's your business too. But keep it to the record and keep comments about the record as well, would be my advice to help this community go forward in a healthy way for the remainder of this campaign season.
Hello. Okay. My name is Michelle Barron. I am a resident here at, I live at 2110 Alameda Avenue in Maplewood, and I also own the Book House, which, is a business in the special business district. And to be honest, I came here just to kind of listen, to get some sense of what was going on in the city, and how it had affected me this week and what was going on. And I will tell you, this is no concerted effort. All this positive stuff against Mayor Knapper, it's like, I don't even know half of you. I mean, I know you by face. I know all of you as my neighbors.
Now look at us. You gotta look at us.
Oh, sorry. But I know you all as neighbors but I mean, again, I'm one of these business owners. I've been here for a long time. And I will just say the thing with the signs and everything, I think a lot of business people, I've been kind of going and talking to some of them to see why they hate the mayor so bad or why they want to get her ousted. And a lot of them are clueless. A lot of the people at these businesses that have the signs up don't even know why they got, a lot of it's the employees don't know because they're like, it's a business thing. But part of it is just because we all know Barry, because he used to be the mayor, and he came into my store and he goes, hey, I'm running for mayor. You want to put my sign up, And just because he was a familiar face, a lot of people would just put it up just Yeah, okay. And then there was all this stuff that was showing up and you're like, what's all this? What's, I started looking into it and there was all this questionable stuff and then I'm like, well, and then I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, what has she done? What is everybody mad about? And so I started approaching people saying, why are you mad at the mayor? Why do you want, why does mayor, and I think, and there's a lot more underneath it. I think there's an outside party behind this. I think there are outside people trying to divide up our city to raise property values and make money. And that's a lot of what is going on. And it's a playbook that has been used in small towns across this country, to get more money to people who already have money and to undercut people who are just trying to live here. And just be aware of, and that it's even possible that a lot of this stuff online is bots and things. I mean, I know people are moderating and all, but it's very sophisticated. And it goes all the way up to like the city, to the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri. There's something behind this but I have no idea what, but I will just say most businesses, I think, really support this area and support this, and we're not the bad guys. And we really do, support Mayor Napper. I support her and, yeah.
My name is Caitlin Freshour, 3644 Commonwealth Avenue. And I just wanted to briefly state that I was like fairly disengaged with what was going on in the city. And then I kind of heard these grumblings on social media and kind of took it upon myself to pay a lot more attention to things. And unsurprisingly, I did not see any signs of nefarious activity, but I was super thrilled to learn about everything that you guys have all done up here. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to say, if there's anybody out there wondering what's going on, and it's a great opportunity to be inspired by all the great actions. And I definitely intend to stay engaged. So thank you so much.
And Mary Killian, 3159 Cherry. I'm stepping out of the box. I'm not doing any political campaigning. I just would like to understand or eventually get information about the Maplewood Community Growth Fund, because if it is for people in need, I'd like to be able to come back to some of the people I'm meeting, in the volunteer work I do, and see, because they have needs, and I'd like to know if I could help them. I'd like to know who I can go to, what funds are there, what I can do for the people. And I've had some lessons tonight, so I've kept my 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, Colleen Cunningham, 2545 Burdell Avenue. Also wasn't planning to speak, but I'm serving as the chair of the Maplewood Community Growth Fund. So hi, it's me. We are a new foundation that was created from the Human Services Commission's desire to be able to access philanthropic resources. My understanding is it was a vision of Mayor Knapper's to be able to supplement all of the good things that we're doing in our city with taxpayer dollars by bringing in donations from individuals and contributions from foundations. My day job is working with nonprofits to strengthen them. And so I have a little bit of expertise to tell you that it is long, slow work building a nonprofit. I can also say that my limited understanding and work with the former city manager was he slowed down our process by several months. But we are in the process of finalizing our IRS 501c3 certification. So we will officially be a nonprofit that can raise funds and distribute funds to serve Maplewood community members. And so we are trying to get our house in order before we start asking for money, trying to find out where the services are. So Mary, thank you for getting me out of my seat, and we will do our best to figure out how we can continue to serve the city. Thank you.
Good evening, Sandy Phillips, 7639 Marion Court. I I'm not sure if I'm going to end up being the last person tonight, but if I am, I would like to thank our city council for addressing item number 17 on tonight's agenda related to zoning changes. This is a project that has been in the works since early 2021, when during the tenure of former Mayor Barry Greenberg, council members Karen Wood, Jenny Schmidt, Sarah Crosley, and I began the process of establishing ordinance review committees. My committee was specifically tasked with zoning, given my 4.5 years serving on the Plan and Zoning Committee. The changes outlined in tonight's ordinances are not the headline grabbing stuff of developers and new buildings. It's the result of many eyes and many hours. I personally like to thank Ms. Withacombe, our city manager, who served on my committee from the beginning, Mr. Traxler, our assistant city manager, and among other things, our zoning administrator, the Plan and Zoning Commission, whose work goes mostly unnoticed, and finally, Councilmember Correll, who is absent, but I think he's calling in tonight, who took over the committee from me as I was leaving office last year. Thank you all for your efforts to preserve our naturally occurring affordable housing in Maplewood by implementing some of these changes.
Good evening, I'm C. Riley, 7615 Marion Court. I've lived here in Maplewood since 2020. My wife Lizzie and I chose this city as our first home because of the sense of safety and acceptance that we felt here. I've lived my whole life in St. Louis, and in what has long been considered a liberal city since 2016, we've witnessed and even been victim to hateful slurs and rhetoric, so much so that I wanted to move out of the state. But during our home search, we walked up Oakland, we walked across Comfort, we walked down Flora, and walking through Sutton Park and into shops on Manchester, we could see in the signs and the flags that adorn many of the yards and businesses that we passed that the people here hadn't forgotten that Black Lives Matter and that love is love. The MRH school district was a place we could see sending our future kids, and the door to the possibility of staying here in the place we'd grown up opened just a crack. I want to talk about the mayoral race and about the visions presented by the candidates. Former Mayor Barry Greenberg stated on his campaign website, quote, "I originally did not file to run because the election process had become so politicized." He is running because, quote, "after the candidate filing deadline of October 31st, the news came out regarding the process to hire a new city manager, and I couldn't be complacent," end quote. He also stated a concern for a Maplewood mayor attempting to solve what he referred to as, quote, "world problems." Well, I believe all politics are local, and world problems are our problems, even here in Maplewood. It concerns me greatly that it wasn't anything to do with the current attacks on the rights of Black people, pregnant women, and queer folks, the growing lack of affordable homes in our city for lower income individuals and families that he quoted as compelling him to rerun for mayor. In fact, none of these things or any other larger issues have even received honorable mention in his platform. Mayor Nikylin Knapper's commitment to housing equity, inclusivity, and LGBT rights resonates deeply with me and reflects the values that drew Lizzie and me to Maplewood in the first place. Her advocacy for educational equity and protection of transgender and non-binary students within the MRH school district is truly commendable, especially at a time when Missouri educators face the threat of prosecution for the simple act of calling students by their preferred name. In closing, I urge the city council and my fellow residents to consider the future of Maplewood very carefully. We need to move forward with leaders who champion progress, inclusivity, and justice. Mayor Knapper has shown her dedication to our Maplewood community as one that is directly impacted by world problems. And it's that dedication that got this city recognized on a national scale when she was invited just last month to the White House to participate in the Communities in Action meeting. And I'm proud to say that I stand behind her wholeheartedly. Thank you for listening.
Anybody on Zoom?
I don't even know what I'm going to say, except that I've been here about 25 years, which isn't very long in my life. I'm 70 years old. I came here after my twin sister died, okay? So cry for me, okay? Because it just about killed me. I came here by accident because I couldn't function and I had to survive. So what happened? Somebody offered me a lousy rundown house here that nobody else wanted for nothing. So I borrowed money, I bought that falling down house. I got my house that I was paying on and had been paying on for 12 years in Shrewsbury and raising my children by myself. And I fixed it up and I sold it and I lived in a dive apartment here for 7.5 years while I physically rebuilt that house. Okay? So I give a darn about living here and I've watched things change here. And they've been changing all along for the better. The damn police that tasered my son here because he had dreads down here. They're gone. The good police are gone. They help when I can't speak because it's too personal to others near me. When others are going in and out of the hospital and being picked up because they're ill. The police here have been good. When I'm listening out the window, when I look out the window in the past, there were police out there that held a young black man out there on the curb at about 2 or 3 in the morning. I raised my window and I put my head out the window so they'd see that they had somebody watching. And I didn't give a damn. They could turn around and shoot him if they wanted. But they weren't going to take him down. He was a kid that they had pulled over. Just a kid. And I didn't give a shit if he was black or if he was white. But I do give a damn that anybody puts anybody down. And it's not the race. And I think it's a disservice to bring in the race issue because this woman here is a brilliant woman. Forget that she's a woman. She's brilliant. She's young. But in my opinion, she's making mistakes because she's trying to shove this stuff down people's throats. She's not taking everyone into consideration. And she put her friend, that's criminalism, into that position that runs the city. And that's a wrong. It's a mistake. It's a mistake and it's a big one. I have a problem with that. I have a problem when I don't get a return contact when I reached out to find out what's going on with where I spend my life. What's going on with it? No reply. And then when I come to the first ever council meeting, discussion is shut down. I have a problem with that. That's an important issue in this community. Whether you're new here or whether you're old here, it's important to know the history and embrace it and keep fixing it so that everybody wants to be here. All of us, old people, little children, and everybody of every persuasion in between. But if you knock down the good things that are here, you're going to leave that flavor of Maplewood that makes it so good. And that's what I have a problem with. And I don't know where it all came from, but will you tell me your name again, ma'am? Oh, I'm sorry. It's Patty Ewing, 7254. I'm sorry, say it, forgive me.
Newmeyer. Thank you. Ms. Newmeyer, hold on. Can you give me 10 minutes? Can you stay for 2? Please don't. I have something that may calm you down. Would you please stay? Thank you. All right. Anybody online?
We do.
Okay.
Hello? Liz? Can you hear us? Can you unmute? Elizabeth Tiano.
All right, Mr. Traxler, item number 11.
Council communication.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming out. We don't usually have like such vaunted attendance, and it's really cool seeing a lot of people from the community. We're not a really big community, so when we can start numbering up in percentages of our community in attendance, that's really cool, actually. So thank you all. I just want to stress too, I didn't grow up in Maplewood, so I was struggling. I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking about this morning. I was thinking about this on a meeting when I should have been doing work, but you know, like you do. I don't have something comparable to like the Immaculate Conception School in my experience. I don't have a building that is such a key component to my concept of space for where I live. You know, my grade school, St. Catherine's, it's still there. Ugly renovations, but it's still there. My high school has some renovations, and I look at that and I go, oh, well, okay, they had to make more space. I don't have anything that has such a strong, like I said, like a concept of place for me. So I want to be serious when I say we're all trying to be very respectful of everyone, like their history and their love of this community and how it looks and everything like that. I also want to stress we don't own the school or the church. So the decision ultimately will come from Catholic Charities and the Archdiocese. The decision ultimately on what is done with the property, we don't get to say, hey, you're gonna demolish this and put this here. We don't own the property. So I just want people to understand we can try and facilitate more community events if we need to. We can definitely try and make sure people's opinions get to talk to the people who are like in the room where it happens, but I don't get to pick what brick goes somewhere or anything like that. So just want to say thank you all for attending.
I'll go real quick. I just wanted to echo the thank you for the pros, cons, yes, no. It's great to see the whole community out, so it's super awesome. If you don't realize it, we do listen to what you're saying, and if my brain is churning, I'm sure my colleagues are as well. So I really appreciate it. And, I wanted to point out, Sandy Phillips, who, had good things to say. And I know we disagree on other things. And it's like, that's the example of how this should work. We're not gonna agree on every little thing, but when we do, we say it and we all get along, and when we don't, we figure it out at the ballot box. So thank you all for being here and engaging. I think it's awesome.
I'll echo the thank you for everyone. Appreciate y'all coming out tonight, both sides of the aisle here. Since we did have questions about folks that are here tonight about the settlement agreement, we had some questions and mentions tonight as well. I would like to kick it over to our city attorney, Attorney Grove, to see if she would address and make a statement about the settlement agreement.
So, what I'm going to say is very limited, but I understand that you've been receiving inquiries about it.
Can you lean closer into the microphone? I can barely hear you.
Sure, yes. So
Jackie, you gotta hit the button or you gotta
No,
flip.
you can-
Is it? Okay, okay.
I will speak louder. Okay. So I understand you've been receiving inquiries about the settlement agreement. Either directly or at prior council meetings. And what I want to share with you all is that what we as the city can say about it is very limited. But what I can say is that Mr. Reese was employed by the city as the city manager from August 9th, 2021 to September 30th, 2023, that he resigned and that all matters related to his employment have been resolved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional communication? Okay. Mhm. All right, Mr. Traxler, item number 12, please.
Mayor's report.
Okay. So I am going to take this opportunity to address the concern that some community members have with the proposed development at Immaculate Conception. First, I want you all to know this council, neither this council nor I would work with a developer that wouldn't listen to the community. And so Larsh, did I pronounce that correctly? Okay, Larsh. So Larsh met with us, met with us, now the gentleman that got up and talked to us. They met with us, I want to say maybe last week, and talked to us about their concerns. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you all reaching out to us and letting us know, speaking to us directly and letting us know, hey, we have some concerns, we have some questions. Thank you for doing that. I also appreciate you all going to the developer and saying, hey, we have some concerns. Because Mr. Hartle believes in listening to community members when they have concerns, he reached out to me as well as Ms. Withicum to say, we're gonna need to go back and look at where land is, where property lines are. We're gonna need to see where we can really put this building. So all of this, when he presented to us, was just to give a proposal. It was a proposal. And also, he was just asking us for a resolution in support. So if you look at the amended agenda, you'll see that the resolution has been amended. The resolution regarding supporting Mr. Hartle creating affordable housing in Maplewood has been amended. So it's no longer as detailed as it once was. So if for some reason he is not able to work with the Archdiocese of St. Louis, which owns that land, not the city of Maplewood, is not able to work with Catholic Charities to create something there, then if land becomes available somewhere else in Maplewood, council is really just saying, we support you building something there. So I just want to reiterate, like, this council, along with me, along with our city manager, we will listen. We listen. Between the last council meeting that we had until today, we have heard from you. And when we hear from you, we don't ignore you. We're not the type of council that's going to just push forward with something when you tell us you have concerns. We work for you. If you look at the org chart for our city, all of y'all are our bosses. I work for you, they work for you. So when you tell us you have concerns about something, we're really listening and we will move accordingly. That is what we do. I think Ms. Nuri left, but hopefully someone will direct her to this recording on YouTube. Bless her heart. She just, someone, if you know her, please tell her to go probably an hour and 22 minutes in. I just wanted to address, I'm going to reach back out to Ms. Nuri. She emailed me and I returned that email. I don't know if she got it. So we need to make sure that our IT is up to par. And if you all were with us during one of our work sessions, we talked about how we need to budget money for our IT because it is like a dinosaur when it comes to IT. We are struggling. So it concerns me when a community member says, I sent an email and I didn't get a response. Houston, we have a problem. I'm going to respond to you. And I did. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to work with Ms. Withicum. I'm going to go back, see what's going on with the email. So if you emailed me and you haven't received a response from me, please call Ms. Withicum because obviously my email is messed up, but hers isn't. She gets all her emails. Okay. Excuse me. I appreciate Colleen letting us know about the Maplewood Community Growth Fund. I am very excited to get to a point where we can really start putting money into that. That by law, we are not permitted, we as in the city, we are not permitted to put money into that account. It can only be private funds. So I just want that to be clear to everyone. The city, the taxpayers, your money, your tax Dollars are not going into that nonprofit. It is against the law. We will not do that. When we created that 501c3, or we're in the process of it, we are funding that through grants, through other endowment funds, and through private citizens. So that's it. All right. Sorry, y'all, I'm taking notes. I took notes, I was going down the list. I want to recognize Corinne Carr. I was doing so well. Cause my God, today, it was, it was tough. I was doing so well until this. Ms. Carr. Ms. Carr is being harassed because of her ethnicity and because of her religion. And I'm angry because I can only do so much. Ms. Carr actually has a key to the city coming to her. And I told her this last year. And the reason why is because Ms. Carr will have cold water sitting on her front yard, and she has a sign that says free water. It's hot today, make sure that you're hydrated. She has a little library in her front yard that has books, and she'll tell people, please come. She has, I'm sure, a wonderful husband and an adorable toddler, adorable. And she has been harassed for at least 2 weeks. My God, I didn't know. So she has had her flag stolen from her. She has had a banner taken down from her house. That's not Maplewood. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not Maplewood. And that is one of the reasons why this council enhanced the punishment for harassment, enhanced the punishment for the hate crime, because we want people to understand that it's not Maplewood. If it was once upon a time, it's not today. This council supports you. I support you. We support your family. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve to have people trespass on your land and take your items. And you deserve to be in our community, free to worship how you want. I support that. I will fight for that. We've created laws to support and fight for that. We'll continue to do that. So if anyone is listening in the future or now, and you are harassing Ms. Carr, you're harassing anybody else, because once upon a time, the living room had their flag stolen from them. The living room was getting nasty letters because of their support of LGBTQIA community. Not today, not here. I'm going to say it because I'm from the South. Not today, Satan. Not here. I'm trying to let you know, if we find out who you are, trust and believe you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We are not playing with you. If you have a problem with someone else in this community, by all means, have that problem. But when you start trespassing on people's land, you start stealing their things, you start making them afraid to live in their house, we have a problem. You have a problem. You will have a problem with the Maplewood Police Department. You may have a problem with the county prosecutor. We're not playing with you. So I hope that the word is spread. Stop. That's it. Stop. And then, Ms. Carr, good job on having the ring or some recordings, because hey, you're on camera. We're gonna get you. Stop playing with our community members. Well, shoot, thanks, y'all. Okay. And then my final questions will be for our attorney. Miss Jackie. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Thank you. Would you please tell us what a claimant is?
So just generally speaking, a claimant.
Legally,
Yeah.
yes.
Sure, but is a person that asserts a claim, so if something under the law, a lawsuit, for example,
Okay,
an assertion that rights have been violated.
okay. Is a claim the same as a finding of fact, like determining that something that was claimed is in fact true?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because I don't want the city to be sued. Roller Boogie this Friday, 6 to 10. Please join us. If you don't have skates, you can rent them. Appreciate the city putting this event on, and I hope that we'll continue to do it because it's a good time, good way to exercise. That completes my report. Thank you. Yes, it's going to be at the rink. The rink. It'll be at the rink? Yeah, you're right. It's the only one we have. It'll be at the rink. 6 to 10. Fun times. All right. That part. All right. Mr. Traxler, item number 13.
City Attorney's report,
Item number 14, please.
City Manager's report.
Mayor and council, Roller Boogie. Also, I want to lift up that the coffee crawl is coming. Tickets are still available. This event sells out, so I encourage everyone in our community to take part in an event together where we can be enjoying our business community and all of its offerings. And I wanted to mention as well, one thing that didn't make it into my report that I was notified about today, which is that Walking Wednesdays are going to be starting again tomorrow with our police officers. Every Wednesday, between 7:30 and 9:30 approximately, they'll start at different times. Officers will be in the downtown business district in various parts of the community, strolling with coffee and welcoming community members to join them, to get to know them better, to check in on our students on the way to school, just really make themselves available and accessible to the community. So I will be. Tomorrow they will start at 8:30 a.m. But they do typically start anywhere between 8 and 9 a.m. And I will provide a more steady schedule once I have one, but I just wanted to let y'all know that they'll be out there. Please welcome them, say hello, and enjoy their company. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Traxler, item number 15.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, in support of the development of affordable multifamily housing in the city of Maplewood, Missouri by RCH Development, Inc.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the resolution. Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to reemphasize that this is an amended resolution. This is mainly to support the development of affordable multifamily housing. And it's to bolster Mr. Hartle's application for the tax credits. It does not lock us into tearing down any historic buildings for the school. But does still allow us to give him that support so we can move forward with a project like this.
I would just like to echo that and just the exciting thing about that particular developer is they are all ears with our concerns and questions and needs. So again, this is because as I understand it, to get the tax credits to make this work, you need your local municipality to support you. So we're in support of this developer looking for options to develop in our community that allows him to get tax credits. That begins the process. And I think, when we shared all that detail, it was probably a little, in retrospect, maybe a little premature because, the process has just begun. I think that was a first draft and we'll go from there. But I'm in support of affordable housing, so I'll be voting yes. But I totally hear your concerns about, and I don't think I'd be speaking out of turn to say that this council supports historic preservation in a general sense. So I'll be voting yes, but hear what you're saying and we will be respectful of that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Traxler, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Correll,
Yes.
I saw him, but
I saw.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, yes.
Councilmember Fockingham,
Yes.
Councilmember Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Homa,
Yes.
Mayor Knapper,
Yes.
Councilmember Page.
yes.
Resolution 24-6 is approved.
Item number 16, please.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to accept the bid and execute a contract with Hendel Lawn Care, Inc. for grass cutting services for items on bid list 1, city parks, city hall, aquatic center, etc. Bid list 2, alleys, medians, dead ends, etc. for the period of April 2024 through November 2024.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, Handel does a great job. Just let them know that.
Yeah. Hearing no further discussion, Mr. Traxler, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Fockingham.
Yes.
Councilmember Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Homa,
Yes.
Mayor Knapper,
Yes.
Councilmember Page,
Yes.
Councilmember Correll.
Yes.
Resolution 24-7 is approved.
Thank you. Item number 17, please.
Bill 6040, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, amending the Maplewood Code of Ordinances, Chapter 56 zoning, Section 56-73, use regulations, subsections A, lot size standards, B, front yard setback, E, height and bulk standards, G, parking, and Section 56-1061, non-conforming lots of record, A, residential districts, subsection 1, to bring lot size and setback standards into alignment with existing averages and to preserve local neighborhood characteristics and housing affordability.
That was the first reading. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. I wanted to echo former Councilmember Phillips' thank yous on this one. This one's a big deal, and Matt Correll talked to me about this long before he was on council. So I just want to thank him, thank the former council members that started this and everyone on planning and zoning. They've done a lot of work on this, and many other ordinances that are on the way. And also thank you to Anthony Traxler. Again, this is a big deal, so I'm excited to vote for it.
Yeah, I'd echo that and just say, I think this might be one of the most important things we've done since I've been on the council at least. So I think it's a really big deal. It's awesome.
Can you guys hear me at all? Is it even worth giving it a try?
Councilmember
No.
Correll, did you want to speak?
I do. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I do. This is extremely important, and I really want to echo what everybody has said. My special thanks to all of the previous council members, Sandy Phillips especially, Anthony Traxler. Our Planning and Zoning Commission has been working extremely hard and very diligent on a lot of this. They ultimately brought my vision to life with their expertise, their education, and really just research collaboration. I am ecstatic. I hope you guys can all hear how enthused I am about this. I appreciate all of you showing up tonight as well. My audio is a little messed up, so I wasn't trying to talk as much, but thank you. I look forward to voting yes.
Okay, I just want to say thanks to the council, thanks to the planning zoning board, thank you to Mr. Traxler, but I'm going to focus on Mr. Correll. Councilmember Correll came to me when he first got on the council and was like, I have this really cool idea. I think that it would really help people that are already in their homes, stay in their homes, and it'll push back on property taxes. And I was like, okay, what is it? So he tried to explain it to me and I was like, I don't understand. And so he was like, okay, look at this ordinance, look at this ordinance. And he was just so excited about it. I also remember telling him, you know, well, he said to me, this is something that I want to do, but I can wait. And I said, I don't have time for you to wait, and the city doesn't have time for you to wait. So whatever you want to do, I need you to do it right now. And if you need help, let me help you. But like whatever you want to do, let's do it. And so, Councilmember Correll, thank you. Thank you. Because when we talk about affordable housing, I am the development person. I'm like, let's get something here. And I will say that Councilmember Correll, you have been the other side of that where I'm development, you're like retention. And it's an awesome partnership that we have had with the support of our council members, our colleagues. I just thank you. I thank you for listening and being like, okay, I'm gonna do this, even though I wanted to wait. Thank you, homie. All right. Any further discussion? Whew, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Mr. Traxler, second reading, please.
Bill 6040, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, amending the Maplewood Code of Ordinances, Chapter 56, zoning, Section 56-73, use regulations, subsections A, lot size standards, B, front yard setback, E, height and bulk standards, G, parking, and Section 56-1061, non-conforming lots of record, A, residential districts, subsection 1, to bring lot size and setback standards into alignment with existing averages and to preserve local neighborhood characteristics and housing affordability.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. The third and final reading will take place at the next council meeting. Mr. Traxler, item number 18.
Bill 6041, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, temporarily suspending enforcement of Chapter 12, Section 12-117, adoption of property maintenance code, Section 302.4, weeds, and Chapter 54, Section 54-56, cutting required, the Code of Ordinances relating to the growth of grass or weeds to promote No Mow April from April 1 through 30, 2024, in support of pollinators and wildlife habitat.
That was the first reading. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, so I walk a lot and I saw bees out today. So I'm really excited that this would be a good thing to help them have more food.
Yes.
I'll be participating. An excuse not to mow for a month.
Yeah, so I would also like to give a shout out to our Sustainability Commission. They too, as well as other boards and commissions that we have, continue to do great work. And the nice thing about all of our boards and commissions is that we have representatives from our community. And so that is the community voice that we are hearing, and they are really pushing through some work that focuses on sustainability. So thank you so much to the Sustainability Commission for this ordinance. All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Mr. Traxler, second reading, please.
Bill 6041, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, temporarily suspending enforcement of Chapter 12, Section 12-117, adoption of property maintenance code, Section 302.4, weeds, and Chapter 54, Section 54-56, cutting required, the Code of Ordinances relating to the growth, grass or weeds to promote No Mow April from April 1 through 30, 2024, in support of pollinators and wildlife habitat.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. The third and final reading will take place at the next council meeting. Mr. Traxler, item number 19, please.
Bill 6042, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, ratifying resolution R 24-2 and authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement on behalf of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, with the cities of Brentwood, Clayton, and Richmond Heights for the purpose of joining the Central Core Fire Training Center Commission.
That was the first reading. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Mr. Traxler, second reading, please.
Bill 6042, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, ratifying resolution R 24-2 and authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement on behalf of the City of Maplewood, Missouri, with the cities of Brentwood, Clayton, and Richmond Heights for the purpose of joining the Central Core Fire Training Center Commission.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Third and final reading will take place at the next council meeting. Mr. Traxler, item number 20, please.
Old business.
And item number 21.
Motion to hold a closed session.
Regarding personal
matters.
employee matters and contractual matters.
Thank you.
Second.
Was that a motion? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Nice. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Traxler, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Homa,
Yes.
Mayor Knapper,
Yes.
Councilmember Page,
Yes.
Councilmember Correll,
Yes.
Councilmember Fockingham.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we are going to go into that side room and have a closed session. We will return, but if you do not want to wait for us, thank you all for coming out this evening. Appreciate you giving us your voice.
And we'll be ending the Zoom meeting too.
Yes, we are, well, we got Matt. How are we gonna do that?
Get him on.
Okay, yes, yes. If you're joining us via Zoom, then if you're joining us via Zoom, then we will end the Zoom right now. Councilmember Correll, we're going to reach you by phone.
Appreciate it. Doesn't hurt. I do appreciate